get started and play it, or do the SNL type cold open. If you fucking, I swear to God, I can't keep doing that because I don't do that last time.
Wait, they can hear you.
You gotta be
well, you're
kidding
muted
me.
still.
Unbelievable flip.
Sorry
But I
for the
can
lag.
hear you. No, hey, we called it on the fly. They can hear you.
No, my technology is acting weird today, so that's what it is. And it was perfect last night, obviously, but now
Just
it wants to act
because
like a dumbass.
that blasphemy that you said.
You gotta be kidding me. Unbelievable flip.
All right, so that time it stopped everything.
Fuck it. We don't need, again.
That's what I'm saying now. I don't hear you.
Can you hear me now?
Good. Yeah.
Yeah, the intro wasn't playing. I gotta make a new one anyway, so that's a sign to make a new one. But we're back. Banks versus Davis.
Twice. It played twice. To be fair.
Banks versus technology. Banks versus Davis versus technology. That's this week's episode because the rise of the machines was real. Sarah Connor. Skynet exists.
You know they're making a new one, right? And this is the first time I'm saying like a sequel is needed for that type of premise.
Oh, here we go.
That's needed. No, that's needed in this. Hey, whatever you do with that, do whatever you need to do, James Cameron, because I get it.
Okay. They've made 4 movies since Judgment Day, and I haven't seen any of them. I never saw T3 Rise of the Machines. I never saw McGee's Terminator Salvation. I never saw Terminator Genesis, or Genesis, as people would want to say it, because I had the Y.
Is that the one that came out, the last one?
No, the last one was Terminator Dark Fate. That was directed by Tim Miller because they took Deadpool 2 away from him, and I didn't see that one. So,
is that the one where Sarah Connor was old?
Yep. And where it was an alternate timeline where now this Mexican girl was now the new Sarah Connor. They did the alternate timeline thing where like it bypassed. Oh no, John Connor dies, she said, and now this girl's son is going to be the new savior of the race, of the human race.
Yeah, because Oscar De La Hoya was the villain.
Gabriel Luna, yeah, it was a hybrid of the liquid metal, but like he could also duplicate himself. Yeah, that again, it never really interested me. That's because my thing with the Terminator, I think the first one's okay. I haven't seen it in a long time, and I've only seen it once. But Judgment Day is phenomenal. It's up there, obviously, in the top sequels of all time. But I think that was kind of the point. James Cameron didn't know Edward Furlong was going to grow up to look like that, so maybe he wanted to recast someone else.
What do you mean grow up and look like that, sir?
He grew up to look like a human rat, like a rat come to life.
He looked like 4 locals walking.
But the irony is that they replaced him with that guy Nick Stahl, who turned out to be a lunatic after his career took a turn after that movie. But I think that's my point, is the Terminator franchise is like low-key cursed since Judgment Day. Like no one's really had a good career since then. And the one that they tried to do in 2015, when they were like the one that they used to promote at WrestleMania 31 with Triple H and Sting and all that. Again, that was another alternate timeline where Sarah Connor and Kyle Reese, she was aware that Kyle Reese is going to come and save her. And then they, again, made the guy who played Storm Shadow. He was now the liquid metal guy. My point is they overcomplicate and convolute their stories. And James Cameron, he doesn't care. He's just going to check at the end of the day. And I can't blame him for that.
He about to get a major one. Apparently, this new Avatar is 3 hours and 12 minutes.
They're all 3 hours and 12 minutes.
Dude, if you listen. So apparently, the Avengers Doomsday teaser is in the beginning. If you go into the movies just to see that, I promise you, it's gonna leak a week before.
Yeah, they're trying to leak a lot of shit right now.
Yeah, exactly. They got the synopsis. They got the breakdown of it already. Just do that, man. I'm never like those Avatar movies. I went to the theater. I keep telling the story over and over. I don't know if I told it here, but probably so. We've been doing this 5 years and counting. Make sure y'all hit that like and subscribe button. I need to get to 500 before the end of the year. Anyhow, um, so I went to the movies after the Super Bowl to see the first one, and that's the Colts and
Saints.
New Orleans. Yeah. And I
Yep.
saw that. That's the last time the Saints have ever won anything. Thank God. But I remember going to see that, and then I went to go see Avatar, and one of the worst movie experiences ever, because it was still crowded, and I was sitting up like this.
Oh, geez. Yeah, I can never sit in the front row like that.
No, that's the only time I've ever done that. And dude, when I tell you I left the movie theaters, my eyes was just red. Like my eyes was super red.
You had the neck brace, like, what's going on, guys?
Yeah, I legit feel like I was doing Undertaker when I came down. My eyes is like doing this. I thought I had cataracts.
But they had that anime, that Terminator anime that they put on Netflix this year. Did you check that out?
I didn't realize. Pardon me. I didn't know that existed. I keep forgetting to watch the Splinter Cell anime.
Yeah, it was written by the guy who wrote the original screenplay to the Batman, but then they rewrote it so he didn't get credit. So then now he's going to write the second Batman movie with Matt Reeves. He was the writer on this Terminator anime that they got Timothy Olyphant to be the voice of the Terminator, but it takes place in Japan. And again, it's like I said, it's almost the same thing as Dark Fate. They're trying to remix the origin story of Skynet and all that. I can't remember what it was. Terminator something. Like another name attached to it. But it came out, I think, at the start of the year.
Okay. Well, I gotta tune in for that. It's another anime and then Terminator. So I guess I'm just anime out. And that's what Netflix has been trying to do, corner the market.
Yeah.
But let me tell y'all something. Y'all never be Crunchyroll. Ever. You can try all you want. You'll never be Crunchyroll. Crunchyroll.
Terminator Zero. Like here it is. Yeah.
Okay. And they barely promote their anime anyway. They live on the basis of anime I could see on Crunchyroll, like the One Pieces and everything. Like, dude, this is on 2-3 different, streaming services.
Oh, it was last year. That's how long this year has been. I thought it was this year, but it was last year. In Japan, Malcolm Lee has developed another AI system that is intended to compete with Skynet. As Judgment Day approaches in 1997, Lee finds himself and his 3 children pursued by an unknown robot assassin. So like I said, it's remixed just like Dark Fate was. But I think that's going to lead to our first topic, which is Neil Moritz, who produced the Fast and the Furious movies and the Sonic movies, is now going to be in charge of producing another Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle reboot. David Ellison did say that the animated sequel to the one that Seth Rogen and Evan Goldberg produced in 2023 is still going to come out. This is a reboot of live action TMNT. What?
Hey, people, there's no technical difficulties. The sound ain't messed up. I'm just like, we just.
Are you asking why do we need another one?
And I love the Ninja Turtles, like super huge mark since I was a kid. But y'all just did that like 7 years ago.
That's their point. Well, here's where what the news comes with is that they are shelving the live action Last Ronin adaptation that they were planning to do. And I know The Last Ronin is a story that came out within the last couple of years where there's only one Ninja Turtle left. The identity is concealed. So it's over the course of the comic arc that you start to learn which Ninja Turtle this one is and what's happened to the rest of them and all that. And this was supposed to be directed by Ilya Nashuler, who did Nobody, Hardcore Henry, and he did that Heads of State movie that John Cena and Idris Elba had this year. So I think it's probably a good reason that movie got shelved.
Very good reason.
But I haven't read, even though I started getting into comics really this year because I started reading Absolute Superman and then Absolute Batman.
See, man, you were of great taste. You were a man of great
Absolute
taste.
Batman's incredible. I want to talk my arch enemy, Van. He was ducking me after I asked him to bring me on to talk about Absolute Superman, but I'm still trying to reignite that East-West beef with Van. So Van,
I'm about to
you
hit him
dumb
up right
son
now.
bitch, if you're listening, get out here and fight me like a man.
I'm about to hit him up right now.
No, we'll do that for a later date. But yeah, I do want to read the last Ronin so I can figure it out because I don't want no spoilers, even though it probably won't get made. Because the story that Boris Kit had is David Ellison doesn't want the first live action Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle movie to come out in the last 10 years to be a violent one. And David Ellison, who ran Skydance, who now owns Paramount because the Skydance Paramount merger, he put Neil Moritz in charge of TMNT because he said, if you want to have success like Sonic, get the guy who did Sonic. So you can't blame him for that type of thinking of trying to Sonicify the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. But they weren't really hurting because I liked that animated movie that Seth Rogen and Evan Goldberg did.
Yeah, and the last two live action were really good. That's why I'm confused about.
I never saw the second one with Stephen Amell and Seamus. I didn't get to that one.
Yeah, it is Rick Maker. That is AI radio, but that's for another day. That's something we working on as a collab. The last two movies were good. I don't know what else you need to do. That's why I'm confused. And I'm like,
well, those movies, ironically, those movies had the controversy of how the Turtles looked pre-Sonic, and they still put them shits out. Remember, everyone's like, why are the Ninja Turtles roided out, giants instead of
because they're
size?
mutants, people.
But and then they also had to had a retcon because remember it was supposed to be our guy William Fichtner from that guy from all those movies. He was supposed to be the Shredder, but then they recasted an Asian guy to be the Shredder. But then the Shredder was still a robot type suit. And then in the second one, they got Drift King Brian T to play the real Shredder, and that's a whole
Shredder, essentially.
But that's what I mean is like those movies, just like the Terminator ones. I think these franchises, the reason they constantly have to get rebooted, is they just put the wrong people in charge. I think putting Neil Moritz, who had to get kicked off the Fast and Furious franchise because Universal wasn't trying to pay him his full fee, and then he had heat with the way the Hobbs and Shaw sequel was handled. In terms of Hobbs and Shaw being a sequel, not getting producing credit for it because that's Mr. $7. He had to get his hands involved and push him out because his dumbass ex-wife and her stupid brother. They
that's how you feel?
They think they can make movies, but guess what? You can't. How did Red One do? He had to go running back to Jumanji. But I'm not doing my Dwayne Johnson pack yet. Once he gets left out of the Oscars, that's when it's time to It's
he gonna get. I told you he gonna get nominated. Bro.
He won't get nominated. We'll have a bet.
Who else they gonna go with? We could do a bet right now, sucker.
We could do right. We could do right here. We could do right here.
Like, dog. Who else put on a good performance this year?
This year,
and they always go looking for like these sympathetic, like weird people to get nominated. But I'm like legit this year. I'm like. I don't know.
He played the game in all the magazines and all the podcasts and all that, but I think the committee is going to be like, no one liked this movie, so we're not going to reward. We're not even going to reward this performance of a nomination because it felt like a waste of time.
So this is what they do with people like him that play the game, and I'm not disrespecting Dwayne, but he plays the game of the smiley face compared to Samuel L. Jackson, and then follow me what I'm saying.
Shovel. Digging the dirt.
I know you want to bury it, but look.
Piss on your grave.
He's done the favors for Hollywood Weird, right? He got the new Jumanji coming out. So he's grossed these companies.
Which is his version of you run to Atlanta when you. That's Jumanji for him. Like he had to go run back to make some money. Like the Drake has to run back to the features, but
it's like the Thanos meme. What does that lead you back to me? That's exactly what it is.
no, because he had this in the works. Like I said, he was just trying to do that campaign of like real movies, real acting, cinema.
So is that Martin Scorsese movie coming? They start production next year.
Oh, his bullshit Hawaiian Departed. That movie ain't gonna get made.
That's what I'm confused about because I'm
Martin
like
Scorsese is 175 years old.
right, and then doesn't he have like a 20th Leonardo DiCaprio movie he doing?
He's been trying. Well, Leonardo DiCaprio is supposed to be in that movie. Martin Scorsese. I love him. Him, Ridley Scott, Francis Ford Coppola. They've made some of my favorite movies of all time. Some of the greatest movies of all time. But like I've told you, we need an age restriction when it comes to directors. Once you get past 80, you can't make a movie. Take away the cameras, take away the film sets, all of it. Clint Eastwood, again, legend, but Warner Brothers are like, okay, Clint, now go on home. Clint,
you're 99 years old.
You don't tell me when to go home.
It's close. They don't even look the same no more. I think he about to get that real go home.
I think that's why they're like, we don't want you to die on our sets, on one of our sets, and then we gotta. Okay, now the movie's finished. Do we even want to make the movie that we didn't want to make in the first place? Because the old regime allowed the man to make a movie every time he wanted to make a movie. But those days are done. People don't have that type of sway anymore, like how he did.
Like, dude, I'm surprised he outlived Robert Redford.
Just in terms of health, they're almost close in age, though. Robert Redford was up there.
Damn.
He actually just looked good for his age still, ironically. But that again, the guy was famous legit. For being a handsome son of a bitch. Like
legit, he didn't look a day over like 60.
Yeah.
How did he maintain that? I have no idea. But now, like, if y'all want to see Clint Eastwood in 2025,
that Utah weather. Again, he created the Sundance Festival in Utah because that's like where you vacationed and all that.
That's the only place you would go. That's the only reason why you would go to Utah. It's just for that.
You ain't trying to see a BYU game or a Utah Jazz game.
Look, I know why the first overall pick went out there. I don't want to talk about his personal life.
The money.
I know who you are.
The money.
Well, that as well, but yeah.
Not the white women. Don't do that. Because again, they can't even have sex there.
He probably could.
No, his teammate. His teammate got suspended for swearing because Dot said he probably just said "God damn," and they were like, "That's it, one game on the bench." Like,
he probably said "Gosh darn," and it was already over.
Timeout.
If you haven't been to Utah, don't go. Apparently, Bernie Maxwell said they ain't got no Wi-Fi, which is still a hilarious joke when he tweets that out. They ain't got no Wi-Fi in Utah. He hates Utah with a
Why
all
would
his heart.
I think that is one of those places that Idaho, what's up? What else is up there? Wyoming. Like, why would you want to go to
Wyoming? Looks nice.
Just go to Montana if that's the case. I know it's super populated because of the Yellowstone influence, but just go to Montana. Don't go to Wyoming.
What's in Montana?
Yellowstone.
What else?
No, that's the appeal now is the Yellowstone National Park and all the tourism that they've got because the show is so huge. Yeah. And that's where Phil Jackson is from Montana, right?
I think he is.
Jackson Hole. Yeah. That's where all those people I think even Eric Bischoff is on that. Like, I go to Montana.
I think he lives out there.
Yeah, just to live on the land, just to be how like the Cowboys back in the day used to be. And then I go back to my office and I talk shit about Tony Khan for the 80th day in a row.
My thing is with him, how you go from somewhere cold or very cold being Detroit to somewhere freezing?
I think Minnesota is more cold than Montana.
Oh boy, hey, that's saying a lot. Listen, y'all boy.
Because you gotta think, I think that region, the mountain region, borders on West Coast weather and northern weather. So I think it's they probably have winters like we do, but I don't think they're as harsh. Like when you get to the region I'm in, and it's North Dakota, South Dakota, Illinois, Detroit, like all that. That's where you get like we was in that cold, we was cold type of weather. I don't think it's like that for Montana, Wyoming, and Idaho. As like on that spectrum of like terrible.
Yeah, when that cold hits you in Minnesota, people, and that wind hits you. I know I sound like Al Roker, but when that wind
the wind is the worst part because it just and you're like in the anime when you get cut and then the blood starts to trickle down. That's what it feels like. Like, did he even cut me? And then the blood drips slowly. That's what the wind feels like when it's -20.
Yeah, you got a Diddy party yourself. You got to put a bunch of Vaseline.
Okay, whoa.
You got to put a bunch of Vaseline on yourself so your face won't crack.
You're never gonna catch me. Via the grease up.
That's the trick the football players used to do. They said when they played in the cold, they put like a bunch of like grease on their arms.
All those old school tricks of like pissing in the towel on the sideline.
I ain't heard of that one.
I don't know if that was legit or not. I think they would say like guys would pee, like put a towel in, pee on the towel, and then like put the towel in the towel bin. Like that way they didn't have to go to the bathroom. They would just basically piss their pants on the sideline. Again, I don't know if
get up and go.
I don't know if that's one of those urban myths, but yeah, the old school football players had to do. Not what I always know, given his family, but yeah, the stuff that they had to do back then isn't with. Just ice and tape.
Because they are insane. You got to be insane and want to get hit in your head every play. Back then. Now, a little bit, but back then, yeah. You taking damage.
And who was the guy on RAOP who said when OJ played, the helmets are soft? Wasn't that one of their famous clips? And he said, of course, OJ Simpson turned out the way he did. The helmets were soft when in his era.
It wasn't just that. It was just they came from like a manly man era too, like in the 60s, 70s, and 80s. So that's why they were like that. And then a lot of them are like from the middle of nowhere. I was about to say Nova Scotia, but the middle of nowhere, like
Nova
South
Scotia,
Dakota.
Canada.
That's what I'm saying. Like Nova Scotia is in the middle of nowhere. If y'all want to see where Nova Scotia at in Canada, look it up. It ain't near Toronto. And the Rock Pops had to live through that at 13 years old just to get to the States.
But to bring it back, like you said, you love the TMNT. I think everyone does to an extent. You've grown up with it in some way, because to think that the live action movies that came out in the 90s had an influence on kids that were already 11 and younger at that time, and then kids like me who grew up watching later. And there was the cartoon that came out in the 2000s, and then there was the live action CGI movie that had, I never saw that one, the one that's just called TMNT. I never saw that movie.
From 07?
Yeah, 07, 08, where Chris Evans, I think, is Leonardo, or Casey Jones. His voice is one of those guys.
I worked at the movie theater when that came out, and I've seen it way too many times.
And then it stopped. Oh, and the other part of how its kinship with the Sonic thing is, remember, they were the original one with Megan Fox. They were supposed to be Teenage Mutant Alien Ninja Turtles. It wasn't the goo that made them superhuman. It was that they came from outer space. And when that story came out, they put the kibosh on that of like, whoa. Okay, all right, it's not true. That the U's exist. We're gonna do the U's, okay, because the
also,
whole not
side note, people, not to cut you off, Michael Bay was a producer for these movies, so that should tell you.
I'm gonna say, like, that's why they went from Michael Bay to Neil Morris, because Michael Bay, when he attaches his name as a producer, he did those Texas Chainsaw Massacre and Friday the 13th remakes that some people kind of like. But he would just attach his name to IP just to make $1 because he's Michael Bay. Like,
yeah. He's supposed to be doing something new, but I can't think of it.
His career post Transformers is one of the he just got lost in Transformers land, which is sad to say, because he did Transformers in 07, then he did Revenge of the Fallen, and then he did Dark of the Moon. He took a break to do Pain and Gain, and then he did the Age of Extinction, the first Mark Wahlberg one. He took a break to do the Benghazi movie of all fucking movies. Like, what? Everyone's like, why is Michael Bay making a movie about the Benghazi, incident? And then he went back to do the second Mark Wahlberg Transformers, the one where they try to tie in Arthurian legend, which I watched the first 30 minutes of that and I tapped the fuck out. Like, and then he did Six Underground for Netflix with Ryan Reynolds. And there, I had heard one on a podcast that the screenwriters, the guy who did the Deadpool and Zombieland movies, that Michael Bay saw their script and went with it. Like he said, what the script they wrote is not the movie that he made.
Yeah, the movie he made is bad.
Yeah, it's a horrible movie. It's horrible for a lot of reasons. It's got a good opening.
Dave Franco is in it.
Dave Franco, Corey Hawkins, who poor guy. I got a soft spot for Corey Hawkins. I like him. I think he's a talented actor. He's just in a lot of bullshit.
Yeah, I mean, he got a bad agent, bro.
And then he got blown off the screen in Tragedy of Macbeth, which is like when we did that episode, I'm like, that's the worst one-on-one since Brandon Knight and Kyrie. Like, come on.
Yeah, he got to fire his agent. He got to get a new agent because the stuff that he was just in some Dracula on the ship movie.
Yeah, the last voyage of Demeter.
Yeah, I said, bro, what's going on with you? I understand. Look, we all got to make money, but come on.
He's doing that because he's been in a lot of stuff that at least are like big time projects. But yeah, at the end of the day, he's not
the 24 series that lasted like 5 episodes.
Yeah, he was. I mean, when you look at that not great. When you look at that Straight Outta Compton class, the most successful one now is the guy that was already kind of known, which is Aldous Hodge. He played MC Ren. Or even our guy Neil Brown Jr. He as a MCL, like he was already kind of pre-famous. I mean, not pre, but like well known as a character actor. And then he gets the role on Insecure, and then he was on that CBS Navy SEAL show. So those two lucked out because Aldous Hodge is on Amazon. He plays Alex Cross, so he's got a steady gig, and they want him to always be the T'Challa recasting whenever you see him.
Yeah, I mean, O'Shea stay working.
O'Shea Jackson, all he wants to do is just be a wrestling podcaster, because it took them 8 years to make Den of Thieves 2. Like, come on! And then they're like Den of Thieves 3 next. It was it was disappointing.
But no, with him, yeah, you right. But I see the play because I see the type of wrestlers he interviewed. I said, see, that's my move.
But that was what I was saying with you and Amp and then Dot last night too. Is like the way the wrestling media is that they're going to give him access because he's a mark for the business and he's a mark for the people he'll be able to talk to. And his name has some weight because he's Ice Cube's son more than being the guy who is in movies. Because again, like I said, Den of Thieves 2, he had that show on Apple TV, the basketball show that got canceled after 2 years that Kevin Durant produced. And then he's really had a quiet career since Den of Thieves. Like whether that's personal or not, but it's not like he was going to be next up anyway.
No.
The guy who was next up was the guy who we talked about last night, which was Jason Mitchell, and then he sabotaged his own career by being a piece of shit.
Can't keep his thing in his pants. Yeah. What's the song? You like, bro, you don't have no self-control.
None. But to bring it back to that, yeah, Triple H doesn't know who Ice Cube is. He does. I don't think Triple H is that oblivious. He just doesn't care who he is. I don't think he cares who he is. No,
but also again, don't forget the guy that likes Kiss. Who likes Kiss, bro? Nobody like Kiss. Lie to me. I've never met a Kiss fan.
I don't think people since 2000 have liked Kiss, but people used to like Kiss. Oh no, people in the 2000s liked Gene Simmons on his reality show.
That's what I'm saying. Like, smart mercher, and I mean, shouts out to them people. So he good at marketing. He good at getting a coin, but I've never. I think they're horrible. Like AC/DC, I'm on that hill. And this
I think Kiss has some good songs. Get up, everybody gonna beat their feet. Get out, everybody, Detroit Rock City. Or
and I love Detroit, but I hate that song.
I was made for loving you, baby. You were made for loving. No, come on, they got some good songs.
No,
they're not better than Metallica, but they got some good songs.
They made hair. They had an illusion of being like death metal, but they made hair metal songs. since
Yeah, well,
1979.
they dressed differently than they sounded. Yeah,
Exactly.
but that's
And
wrestling
again, it's
too.
good marketing. It's good
Yeah,
marketing, but at the same time, come on, man. The fact that you sung the song. I ain't heard that song if ever.
you haven't.
Like,
It was in the Fall Guy last year. But that's how it opened. Is tonight. I want to be with you tonight. Yeah, you think they're gonna sing like old timey type of ballads, and then I was made for you. You were made for me, and it's like, what the fuck's going on here? Yeah, but I think you're gonna see these guys who are like, bring the goats on the stage. Who wants to cut the goat's head off? And like, yeah, and they play like, ooh, 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 ooh.
Yeah, they playing ballads. They playing like 1950 ballads.
It'd be like if 50 Cent came on the stage and it was like singing Dean Martin. That's amore. When the moon hits your eye like a big pizza pie.
That's what I think I wanted to say that to you. That's the movie I actually would like to see. Like if they really want to do a Frank Sinatra movie and include the rap pack, but if they really,
that's one of Scorsese's 18
is he gonna
projects.
do the real? Is he gonna do the real Frank Sinatra movie?
Probably.
If y'all don't know about that real Frank Sinatra, y'all might want to do the history. I don't know if he could do the real Frank Sinatra movie when he was out here moving like the mob, allegedly.
Well, no, yeah, he had legit connections because they're like, Frankie boy, how you doing? How you doing? Go up there, sing us a song, Frank. Come on.
But
Frank,
he
my mother's here,
shining
Frank.
shoes.
Come on. My mother, she came to see you sing, Frank. Come on,
But then they said he graduated. He stopped shining shoes and he got to work.
Yeah. Once you get influence, and plus it's that thing of what Casino says, like when you have value, you'll always have a place. Like as long as he could pick games.
Oh, you listen to Casino? Hey, free Casino, bro. He just got arrested.
A movie.
Oh, okay.
This is just like
Casino free bands.
This is just like the Persephone thing last night. What's she doing? Amp said, "Hold on a minute, play. Hold on, I wanna hear that. I gotta look this up."
I was like, "How you know that name?"
All right, yeah, you know I know that name. Come on.
Hey man, shouts out to somebody that got a name similar, Stephanie Velcro. Shouts out to her.
Stephanie Vicker.
Yeah, they ain't got her doing nothing.
You want to start 15 minutes of wrestling talk now?
I mean, what else we got before we get there? And we scared.
No, I just again, are you going to be looking forward to what?
Zelda
New Moritz did these new Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, or do you think it's a waste of time considering that animated movie? And then they did the animated show for Paramount Plus.
Yeah.
And I think the reason that movie was successful, and we might have been talking about this on an episode at the time, was that they got actual teenagers to do the voices, so it felt so genuine and hilarious too. Because like Mike, they are like breaking voices. Mikey, don't do that. Like whoa, instead of like being Raphael or like Crumpet, Cricket. You got to know what a crumpet is before you know cricket. Like,
yeah, unless they bring it back that way with the animatronics. Yeah, that's it.
Oh, the Five Nights at Freddy's Ninja Turtles.
What else can you do that we haven't seen? Legit, that's why I'm like, I don't know what else they can do.
And the funny thing is, our guy Alan Richardson, Thad Castle himself, he was Raphael in those movies, and now he's had a better career since then.
You know what's crazy? He didn't even need the prosthetics; just paint him green. He was swollen up. Dude looking like Randy Orton these days.
But he has to play it like that, like get out, Donatello, get out. I
said, are Mikey, you Jack Reacher or Bane? Jack Reacher ain't supposed to be that cocky.
He could play. He can. Bane? Everyone's like he should. No, everyone's like he should play Batman. He should play. He can play absolute Batman, but he can't play. He can't play Batman. Because when absolute Batman said he was 6'7", I'm like, what the fuck's going on with this Bruce Wayne? Like, what
6'7".
the hell? Okay, damn. I should have. Green ass.
Oh wait, hold on. Impulse, but no, legit. Yeah, we got to get you on Black Variant, but dog, legit, this
Yeah, he could
absolute
play.
Batman. Yeah, but
He punted a
Alan
kid
Rich,
off a yacht. I was like, okay. He went.
and this Batman got a hammer paws.
Yeah, with a legit, not a gun, a legit hammer. Yeah.
Yeah, like a
I mean,
mallet.
if they
He
really
got
wanted to
the
take it to, because the whole point of that universe is like it's remix. If they really wanted to do, but that's what Zack Snyder already ruined with like my Batman uses a gun. Like, okay, get fucked, asshole. But
Hey, he going sad, bro. On a side note, he going outside. He keep every day. This the picture from Batman vs. Superman. I'm like, dog, that was in the 3rd grade. That was 10 years ago,
that
man.
was like,
He keep talking about that, man. This the picture we could have used, man. Look, this was gonna happen with the Batman. Should, could have, would have. It's over, bro.
but that's my point. When I would put on the glasses and do the art school version of that, because that's who he is. He's Mr. like, when Van Gogh, his brushstrokes, and all, like he's fascinated by paintings and how a picture looks, and then he wanted to do paintings in motion, which is what his films what he thinks they look like. But at the end of the day, they look like dog shit. Like when you watch Rebel Moon and he tries to do his slow motion thing and he's thinking he's cooking, I'm like, the food is burnt. It's not cooked. It is, it's all done. It's all useless. Throw it out in the trash. But
I'll try to go back and watch them movies. I couldn't do it.
And he's trying to make a serious movie now, like about 2 guys surviving in the war and all that. And I'm like, you're not that type of guy either. It might be a Korean or Vietnam war because it looks like they're in the jungle.
Probably Vietnam. We need I don't know why people don't want to touch the Korea or try that story. We done seen, dog, for 40 years now, probably 50 years, we done seen Vietnam movies.
Well, not because they were unnecessary wars. I don't think that's why studios want to tread back to that ground. I think that was a real reason Spike Lee had trouble getting to Five Bloods greenlit. And then when he also wanted to do the de-aging like The Irishman, Netflix is like, we'll make the movie, but you're not getting the de-aging part of it. Like, just be grateful we're making this movie. Because a Vietnam movie, but again, there hadn't really been a Vietnam movie from the Black Soldier perspective. Dead Presidents, somewhat, but that movie's more about post-war.
Which is a better story.
Pre and post-war. When the Five Bloods is about post-war too, but it's still connected to what black men had to go through in that war. Again, post-civil rights. So that was a war where they were finally on the same side, but there was still obviously racism and prejudice.
And that's the best thing about Dead Presidents, because they try to glorify the war, just like with Call of Duty. Glorifying the violence, but then it's the after violence. And that scene where Lorenz Tate was in the courtroom and everybody's gone and it's like, oh, you getting life. And it's like, bro, I served this country. That's the best part of the movie, because it lets you know exactly. And then if you want to do an aftermath story of that, like, dude, I'm old, I served this country, and he rotting in jail, and it happened several times to other people. Like, bro, you hear them stories about Vietnam vets being homeless and all that. That's actually real, people. It might be some Desert Storm vets out there right now.
I think every vet, and that's a whole nother conversation in itself. But to plug the episode I joined you and Amp last week on the ROP Patreon, that was one classic. I'd say it's a classic that I've only seen once. I've only seen Dead Presidents once. So I definitely got to run that back in the future.
It's a hard watch.
And I saw it probably 15, 16. But again, like what you just said about vets, because the way Chris Tucker, his character was during the war and then after the war, and the same thing for the Bokeem Woodbine. He was the killer of all killers in the war. And then after, he had to find religion to save himself. Because again, those guys who had to atone for doing stuff that they shouldn't have been doing in the first place, given like, what's the land war in Asia going to do? Like, they're on the whole other side of the fucking continent. What do they don't have missiles. They don't have shit to threaten us with. It was just like, huh?
And these are kids too. That's what people keep forgetting.
I mean, that of all the actors, and that's why Muhammad Ali stood out the most, because he's like, I'm not going to go fight in some fucking war. Are you crazy? I would have done the same. Send me to prison. I'm not going to fight in the fucking war. I'll do time before I join the war.
Man, they don't make them like that no more, man. And this is at a time where an athlete wasn't looked at as an athlete. Well, as a boxer was looked at as that guy, but still around that time
he was becoming that guy. The role of being the dangerous man on the planet, the big, the heavyweight champion of the world was really his era. No offense to Rocky Marciano and Joe Louis and all of them.
Every time I talk about boxing, why white man got to talk about Rocky Marciano?
But
Rocky Marciano.
But what we just said about wrestling, to do our 15 minutes starting now, I got the timer on.
Yeah, I like that.
Like I said, no more, no less. We'll get because
we only need 9 minutes. It stinks.
Well, yeah, my issue was like
Full Gear was not good. Go ahead.
Did you even watch it?
I was watching. We was recording all of 3
Oh
hours.
yeah, you were actually watching.
And I was I don't know. I was looking like Bret Hart the whole time.
Which version of Bret Hart, pre or post kick?
All of them, because they all looked. It's the same facial expression even after the stroke. He still was doing this. Well, that style of wrestling is kind of poor taste. And
I would just say from what I was seeing on the timeline in terms of the results, I'm like, I don't like I'd said on the episode with Dot, you and Amp, I'm like, I don't know why they created a new belt when they just merged 2 belts earlier this year, just so because Ricochet's over online, they had to give him a belt so he can feel useful, which is the WWE philosophy of someone's over, let's give him a phony belt.
And he don't need a belt. The dude is doing his best work.
No, just give him the fucking proper belts. Just, you had the TNT title for a reason. Just give it to him. I know they wanted to give Mark Briscoe his gold watch because of everything he's been through, which is why they gave the title to him. But still, it's like, if Ricochet's the guy who's over, the business is about putting people who are over with the bigger opportunities.
And my thing is, again, everybody know I'm a huge look. I miss Jay.
It's not to take away from Mark Briscoe. Yeah, it's not that.
But it's like, come on, bro. You can't. And I mean this by no disrespect. I love them. One of my favorite tags ever, and they hilarious. It's just the point of, like Davis is saying, you don't need to create a new belt. Just let Ricochet get next because Mark is already solidified in history. He don't need a title right now.
The philosophy of having belts to give to people who are over, like, that's why they didn't care about having a women's mid card in WWE. There's nothing about that. Like, it's a tool to use to give someone who has gone over with the crowd something. It's a cookie. Here, you got a cookie. You got over. Like, that's why Chelsea Green has it. And the reason Becky Lynch had it is, Becky, we know you're still valuable, even though you're not really, but we're going to say you're valuable because your run was over 4 years ago. But because you're married to the guy that we really want to push, even though he's got the body of an 80-year-old man, here's this title so you can seem relevant without actually being relevant. That's all those mid-card titles in the women's division are for, is to make people who aren't relevant. Like Chelsea Green, as I said a few weeks ago, can't wrestle at all. She's a manager, but they put her in the ring so they can give her TV time. Otherwise, they wouldn't have any use for her. And they gave her the U.S. title, from what I'm seeing, because, okay, you're over. You got good engagement online, in the ring. You get a reaction from the crowd. But at the end of the day, we know you're not going to be the main women's champion. So here's your consolation prize. And that's the problem that AEW has with all their mid-card titles. Like, they aren't ready to give Okada the main title. And he's probably like, I'm good. I don't want it. Just I'm fine chilling, doing what I'm doing because I don't got to put people over. And I can go at 75% speed compared to what I used to.
That. We seen him in person. He bought 40%.
But they gave him that Continental Crown title, just like they gave it to Eddie Kingston in the first place, of like, Eddie, you're too fat, you're too old, you're not going to get the main title. Here's your consolation prize. And I know that's what it's always supposed to be. The Intercontinental title was supposed to be the stepping stone title for the guy who would eventually
one thing about Eddie Kingston. Too trash.
He's from fucking New York. Yeah.
He He's trash, but go ahead.
Yeah, but to create this new title and it's got NWA lineage, I'm like, who gives a fuck about the NWA in 2025? It's great history, but you know what it is? It's history. It's in the rear view. It's not like how we should really look back at the great films to understand why modern films are shit. Old wrestling, you don't got to go back to it. With the exception of a few people like Steamboat, Flair, Arn Anderson, all that, that's when you go back to old wrestling. But you don't gotta go back to fucking anyone else around that era. No offense to Tully Blanchard or the rest of those guys, but like they had matches that were boring
to you. I love that.
But now they want to act like the titles from that era are supposed to mean something, though. Like, okay, they also had too many titles back then. They had the TV champion, they had the U.S. heavyweight champion, then they had the heavyweight champion, and they had the U.S.
tag champs.
It's like
the Freebird titles, which is the three.
It made much more sense because they had actual territories. This is all one company, and because they're too scared, both of them, to do proper split rosters, they got to do all this phony baloney about like you get your turn on the Ferris wheel to have some time to shine. It's just like I care what Jim Cornette hasn't had a wrestling job in the last 10 years because one, he's racist as fuck and doesn't deserve one, and two, his booking philosophy is outdated. Let me tell you, here's what we do right now. I'm gonna give me the biggest motherfucker you got. I'm gonna put him right over right now, and then hit him. Well, she's a dumb bitch. I don't got any use for her. It's simple. You book winners, you book losers, okay?
But the thing is, too, what Zelda's saying, it's funny. See, when people start talking trash about AEW, I say you just want to kiss the WWE hand. With Jim Cornette, he is fair with all his slander, and it's hilarious. I know, look, me and Dad already said, look, we already know. But the dude, even Van, but dude is hilarious, bro. Like the stuff that he be saying, because he equal opportunities with everything.
Oh, you mean like why you listen, even though you know he hates you? we all have that.
But you know what? He worse when it comes.
We all have problematic faves. Yeah. Again, I enjoy watching James Woods if he's in a movie, despite him being a terrible person. I think he's a great actor.
Look, even Zell said it. That's what I'm saying. We know, bro.
Yeah.
Black people be knowing who hate us.
Everybody Baldwin killed someone. Hilarious. It doesn't mean I don't want to see him act in movies.
Like, bro, most of the greats always gonna have something wrong with them. This is like, how bad is it?
But he does say stuff like, you really, you know damn well when you're saying it, you shouldn't say it. Like the whole idea about like in Africa or the bucket of KFC. Like, come on, you don't have to do the real like Fox News racist jokes to make your point. Yeah.
And again, we all know, look, it's 4 people that you know that you actually been around and shook their hand. So it's like we've all agreed, like, bro, we know everybody hate black people. We know everybody hate black men.
Oh yeah, no, the wrestling business,
but it's just hilarious.
What
now? And then he won with me. Not my fault to cut you off.
No.
He won with me because the AJ Francis slander is hilarious. He called him the manatee. He be calling him the manatee.
He did get the way those girls that they always make fun of on Twitter, like the way the bad built bitches are like all skinny legs, all fat upper body, like that's how he's built. Yeah, like
bro, the way he be cutting people up, he don't like is hilarious.
And when I saw him take that ladder bump, I'm like, you must be a stupid motherfucker to try to think you can take a ladder bump at that size. Like
he just want to add it to his U-God type raps.
You got
dude rap like Lord Finesse. I ain't trying to hear him in 2025. But nah, the only person Jim Cornette like is Jacob Fatu. I swear that's the only person he like.
Well, what does Jacob Fatu say?
I don't know. Jacob Fatu know what Jim Cornette is.
No, what's the common denominator between Jim Cornette and Jacob Fatu? It's a certain word that I
like. Oh, okay. I thought you were about to say maybe Jacob Fatu like Wendy's. Legit, the only people I know like Wendy's.
Oh, he definitely used to. He would fuck up some Wendy's in Oakland. I guarantee it.
When you got $5 to your name, it go a long way. Not anymore though. You can't get none for $5 at Wendy's.
Well, as we talked about last night, who the hell wants Wendy's? But we got 5 minutes left. Yeah,
exactly.
I mean,
we talk
and then
about
they put.
everything. Go ahead.
And then but then they give Samoa Joe the title, and I'm like, again, Samoa Joe, all-time favorite of you and mine, everyone basically. It's 2025. Everyone who loves AEW would shit on why are they giving the old-timer titles in WWE? Why are they giving Goldberg the world title over? Look what y'all do over there. Goldberg's your champion. Brock Lesnar's still the champion. It's the same shit when it comes to Samoa Joe. He was a superstar for 25 years now.
Yeah, 25, not 25, but 15 years
22,
ago.
23, yeah.
Look, again, like David just said, we all love Samoa Joe, or as Scott Steiner call him, Sloppy Joe. We all love
they're going to say, that's some bitch.
We all love him. But, bro, I don't need to see him as champion in 2025. I'm sorry, bro. I know Twisted Metal Season 3 coming out, but come on.
It's not even that, because that's a Peacock. That show's owned by the enemy. They can't even promote that show. It's one of the redundant things of like they have the Braun Strowman show on USA. He doesn't fucking work for y'all anymore. Like, what are you doing? Like,
and that show is a fraud anyway, just like his career. Because
he just stole. You mean he just stole Man versus Food?
He don't even be eating the food. He just order it. I seen this show. Jim Cornette talked about that too. I'm telling you, dude, it's hilarious. But I watched the show because I'm a foodie type guy. He just orders the food. He ordered like 2 trays of barbecue for like $50, $80, and he
this is some good barbecue right here. Oh, I can't wait to eat this barbecue.
And then they cut, and that's it. You don't see nothing else. Like, bro, you at least got to put the ribby on my paws.
You put the what in your mouth? That's the best joke from. No, that's the best joke from Cars when he's like, he's got 3 piston cups. He did what in his cups?
But like David said, bro. And then first of all, he got bladed in 5. I thought he had to go to the hospital. I said, bro, that's all this donut custard coming out the top of his head. You already know that's gravy. He was bleeding out, bro. His head just gashed open and everybody bled last night.
Help me. I'm bleeding. Oh, no, you're talking about Samoa Joe. Well, yeah, everyone has
everybody was bleeding.
Yeah, as we talked about, I think that they do it because they can get away with it. They don't have to operate the same boardroom rules that WWE has to, where the lack of blood pisses people off, with the exception of the few times or the shots to the head that they'll allow certain people to do, which is the favoritism of the company. But it just proves that when people cheer for a face to get the title, they don't want the face to be the actual champion. And that Hangman Page run for the fucking second time now, if he had to do all this fucking leg work, the hero's journey, beat all the side quests just to get his moment, it's gone 4 months later. Like, what's the point again? Like, I know the idea of wrestling is the chase. You sell the chase over and over and over. And I said this to you and Eve a few weeks ago. This is why movies end with the hero winning at the end of the day. Because if you watch the sequel where the hero is still powerful, it's a boring movie. Because what else is the hero going to do? They've already overcome. Well, you put a new obstacle in their way. Well, that's why John Cena was a villain not the last, but for half of the last 15 years is why he was a villain. Because they put obstacles in his way. Umaga, Great Khali, Bobby Lashley. What do? Next, next. And then rinse and repeat until they stopped doing that for 3 months. And then they picked it up again because it was time to rerun the same play. Hangman Page, it's not to be like, oh, he can't draw as a champion. There's money. Then stop selling us the story of I can't overcome. I can't do this. I can't do that. And because it gets tiring. The reason the Daniel Bryan B+ player story worked is because it was legitimate. It was authentic. They didn't want this guy to ever be the champion. And then when they made him the champion, just like they did with Rey Mysterio, they said, we're taking that back. Thank you. Like, we needed you for one mega pop, and now your time's done. But Tony Khan doesn't want Hangman Page to look like a super champion because that means you can't have super villains. I don't know what lessons they need to learn from comics or movies, but the lessons are there. Like, the reason heroes become villains and villains become heroes, it's right there. Like, that's why the heel and face turn worked, and it didn't work, unfortunately, for Steve Austin going from face to heel.
Yeah. They need a writer. It's been said many times, but he hard-headed, so they're not going to have a writer. The Hangman Page thing we saw in person, because again, you know, I kick it with Davis in person. So where do I go with this? It's like you said. So WWE has managed. I'm gonna put WWE over people. I don't care about none of these companies. Ain't nobody cutting me no check. But I will put WWE over in this regard. I do not. I think it's been said many times. I do not like Cody Rhodes. Never been a fan of his. Never cared about Stardust. Never cared about ROH. I don't care when he was going to get split. I don't care about none of that. All right. Bad News Martinez. I don't care about none of that. I've never been a fan. But I will say the way they made him a babyface last year compared to now has worked. He got the title back after the GOAT dropped it. Okay, cool. So now they want to play into it because people want this whole Homelander thing. Y'all don't know what y'all want because you just
that's the we talked about cookout talk last night. The people who want Cody Rhodes to come to the cookout, come to the cookout, brother. Come on, you good over here? Come on. Want him to also be the racist superhero? Like, that doesn't make sense. Like, Homelander said, like, I need a jihadist in my superhero group. What? Like
Doug just said it too. He's not good. And here's the thing: in the ring, the dude can work, but this 2025, and it's the same thing. I watch AEW from time to time, just like WWE from time to time. Real Sports on right now, so I'm gonna watch that all the time. But with his in-ring work, it's solid. But it's the same old thing. Like he marked everybody out on Thursday or Friday. He marked everybody else out. Where is everybody else to help you? Oh, one dude got PTO, so I get it. Everybody else is just drunk backstage being the Usos, and everybody else that's on that team for Survivor Series is doing whatever. Yeah, the Yeet man. Hey, what Dot said, joke of the year, his cardio is Blue Powerade, and that's known. As it looks like it more than ever. So, but he does the face thing even right now with the whole Homelander thing that works out. The problem is with AEW is they don't let they baby faces rock out. Like, dog, you gotta
exactly.
let the Hangman thing go. I don't know if the merch is moving, but do people really care about merch in 2025? I doubt it because
They do.
it's the
They
old
do
school
because it's
thinking.
the biggest part of their business.
But Pro Wrestling Tees got AEW merch locked up. So what percentage y'all getting?
Well, I think they basically own it now because that's since the indies are dead, they basically own that company.
Oh, that's
Like,
why they
I
always go
think
to Chicago because they based out of Chicago.
Yeah, but regardless of that, I saw 3 indies were announcing that they were closing last week. Like, the indies are dying. So,
Yeah.
and
Well,
whose fault is
AEW is
that?
the indies. Indies with a budget. Look
No,
at they
because
work.
at the end, no, because
Go
at the
ahead.
end they're
No.
still on. They're on TNT and TBS. They're able to still have quality. Like, again, the indies you gotta watch in a high school gymnasium live, or through DVDs. That's the indies.
But that's our way of watching it, or it used to be from our age demographic. But I say that about AEW, and I mean no disrespect. They just seem more so now like the indie darling that you come to because the rookies that they put on there, the people that are green or the people that got some type of work, they still do it the same way that they would on the indies. Like Kyle Fletcher, he's gotten better in the ring, but he still do the indie stuff. It's like, why was that move
They're
necessary?
A24 movies. They're movies with a $25 million budget, but not a $5 million budget, but not a $60 million budget. They're movies that have actual money involved, actual stars, but at the end of the day, it's not going to be something gigantic, but it's also something that's not made in your kitchen. on a camcorder. Like that's what they are. And then the irony is A24 has a partnership with Warner Brothers when it comes to distribution a large amount of the time. But that's what they are. And that's why A24 is successful. But occasionally A24 does make like a $60 million movie. And then when it flops, they're like, see, this is why we don't make $65 million movies. Just like AEW is like, here, let's go to a 40,000 seat venue. We only drew 35. We're not doing this again. You have to know your limits and know your means for that aspect of it. But they're not doing anything wrong business-wise, as I broke down last night. They're just playing to their audience. But if their audience wants Samoa Joe now instead of Hangman Page, then their audience can't criticize when WWE brings back Brock Lesnar, not just because what he was doing on the Janelle Grant trial, but like it's the same thing. This guy was big 20 years ago, like Samoa Joe was big 20 years ago. And they've seen better days, both of them.
Well, he's still fat. 20 years
Well,
later.
he's not taking what Brock Lesnar's taking, should he? I think it's too late for that.
Hey, man, all Brock Lesnar do is just eat tomahawk steaks and drink no water.
None. He drinks the blood of the goats he slaughters, and that's it.
Hey, if that's what gets you cock diesel, I might have to do the same thing. But again, this is how you know the product is cooked. Like, all right, don't get me wrong. I'm going to watch Survivor Series. But the way we just talking about it, it's like we not even those type of people that just bash the product. We just try to be like, what my doing is, I just be scratching my head nowadays.
I think the problem everyone is having, I think everyone who's mad at the booking in both companies and mad at the business decisions in both companies, you've watched too much wrestling since the pandemic. You need to step back and take a break, because that's what I did. And I haven't watched wrestling consistently. And no, I know it's wrong for me to talk on something I'm not watching, but that's my point.
Hold on, I gotta cut you off in that regard. We got social media, we got YouTube, we got podcasts. Like, nobody needs to sit there and watch a full show. I did it because the GOAT being at Madison Square Garden, and then he won the IC title. But tomorrow, I might not watch, but I can see it on social media. And again, real sports,
and that's what they want. Yeah,
hockey on, basketball on, football on.
But my point is, everyone needs to step back and take a break from watching for a while, because you do get burnt out on it. And then when you come back, it's easy to pick up where things left off, because they don't want the status quo to change. Like you just said earlier, where Cody Rhodes had the run of all runs last year. He slaughtered all the villains like he was supposed to. And then they created a mega villain in heel Cena. He loses. And then he got the title back. And you would think, like, has he been, if you just tuned back in without watching in the last year and a half, you would think, has he had the title the whole time?
Right.
Or if you were to watch wrestling from 2023, where Drew McIntyre didn't have the title, and to watch now, you'd be like, oh, he still doesn't have the title. What's going on here? Like, this guy's never champion. Like, that's what it is. And the pandemic overload. And then it goes for the AEW side too, is that 2 nights a week, a pay-per-view every month. And
every week, dude. I think NXT come on tonight.
And then they overkill it with the online stuff. Like, Drew McIntyre talks more shit on Twitter than he does in the actual ring. I'm like, that's not appealing. Do the work when the camera's on. Don't do it for the Twitter fingers. Like, do it when it's supposed to matter. And then want to act like that's going to feed the story when you tune in. Like, it won't. Like, the stuff he's saying, he won't reiterate on the product. Like, it's not comics. It's not Star Wars. It's not you got to do extra homework to be involved. Like, you're not on that level of success. And those are two products that are having terrible times, honestly, when you think about Star Wars and comic book movies. But that's why they're trying to pivot to the real sports lane with ESPN and TKO's influence of trying to take themselves serious and act like a sport. But at the end of the day, you're not a real sport, because we can see the winners coming from a mile away.
And look,
there's that thing where someone had a tweet like, who's going to take the pin at War Games? And I'm like, Jimmy Uso's there for a reason. Who else? You think Brock Lesnar's going to take a pin? You think Braun Breaker, who they want to protect, is going to take a pin? You think Drew McIntyre? Like, the scapegoat is right there in Jimmy Uso. Why else would he be in the fucking match? Like
the new fat bastard. And then the thing is too, y'all don't care. Y'all really don't care like that. Who take the pin, dog? This ain't 1985. Who gives a like, bro? Nobody
they care
cares
because
anymore.
it's one of those fake things to get mad about. But that's what I was saying last week about like Bianca Belair she could have worked through that injury. They just didn't want her to lose. They didn't want her to beat people who they had semi plans for, but they didn't want her to lose matches.
And
to
what
people
I told you about her, I said, dog, as much as she worked, it don't even matter. Go ahead, sit down. She ain't missed.
No, but it's the same. Like they were making Drew McIntyre go on that horrible run where he had to face Riddick Moss, Baron Corbin, all these other guys when he wasn't champion. The whole time he could have been IC champion, but then they used that to get Gunther over. And then when it was time to take the title off of Gunther, they didn't use Drew McIntyre like they should have. They then created a whole new story for Sami Zayn to coast off his momentum. And that was my point of like, you killed one guy's entire momentum by making him a loser in Drew McIntyre because he can only beat up scrubs. And when it's time to beat a final boss, he gets swiped. Like, how much? And that's always my thing. How am I supposed to care about the guys who should actually be champion if they can barely get by these guys, or they can only beat these guys? It's almost the same thing when it comes to like the Predator or Alien. Like, how are the Xenomorphs able to kill everyone, but then the one character just as outsmarts it barely? Like when it comes to like Arnold Schwarzenegger just barely able to beat the Predator after the Predator's killed everyone else in his unit. It's that booking of like you slip on a banana peel and you got some luck on your side. Like boom.
All right. Well, to close it out, I'll just quote B-Dot. It is rivalry week in college football next week. Hey, bro, ain't nobody gonna be tapped in. This is why
I will. Again, I'm back into college football, so I'll be.
No. We talking about real sports again with football. We will be tapped into that.
During those rivalry games, they'll be like war games. Tune in. Like that's their new philosophy. Like
no, we're not. I'll watch it Sunday, Monday.
If you like seeing two sides go at it on the gridiron, how about you like to see them go at it inside a steel, not just one steel cage, two steel cages tonight on ESPN. Watch. That's what they're going to do. Like,
not like I saw that 30 years ago when it was better in WCW.
If you think these two teams hate each other, get a load of these two teams. We got Brock Lesnar on one side. You know.
I'm cool. I'm just going to watch for them.
But right now, we're going to close out with Tom Cruise last week got his damn Oscar at the Governor's Ball. And it is just like a slap in the face. They
did Samuel Jackson.
Yeah, and the irony is like when they gave Jackie Chan one, it made sense. Like Jackie Chan, unfortunately, won't ever really give a performance that the Oscars will recognize.
Definitely didn't make sense.
But Tom Cruise is going to have a movie next year directed by Alejandro Iñárritu, which might have some Oscar buzz. Iñárritu's stock has kind of fallen since The Revenant, but Tom Cruise is actually going to try to get back into like the acting bag or the smaller movie bag, I should say. He's listening to his body tell him to hang up the stunt part, even though he'll probably still do the stunts in these movies. They just won't be on the grand epic scale like Mission Impossibles, because he is planning to make another like World War II type of movie about being stranded on one side of the country and needing to be on the other. And Chris McQuarrie is allegedly being attached to write and direct that, and he said it's almost like a silent film. Tom Cruise doesn't have much to say in it. It's all about the tension of the natural sound and not being caught. It's supposed to kind of mirror like if you were to say something, obviously you'd be picked up by anyone nearby. But they gave him this Oscar because they know they'll never give him one for a proper performance. And they created the stunt category this year, but it plays into next year's Oscars. So Mission Impossible, The Final Reckoning won't get recognized because the Oscar doesn't exist yet, even though Tom Cruise is now the sole reason this Oscar exists. So it was really just the most backhanded award, because it's not even really an award. It's just a again, speaking about cookies and fake titles and all that, that's what it is. It's his participation trophy. Like, here, little boy, we appreciate you saving Hollywood in 2022, because he fucking did. He made $1 billion movie that saved the multiplexes, and Hollywood didn't want to reward that. They wanted to reward Everything Everywhere All at Once, because I don't fucking know why. And then he put out 2 Mission Impossible movies that I enjoyed, but they didn't make any money on the level that I thought they would, unfortunately. And now he's going back into this bag of working with different directors or projects on a smaller scale. And that's what he started at. So that's why they wanted to give it to him now, just to slap him in the face and teach him a lesson that you don't run Hollywood, we do. Even though he was basically the president of Hollywood the last 4 years.
Yeah. No, you saying a lot without probably realizing you saying a lot. So I'll say it for you, just in case, and I'll say it for the audience. What Davis is saying is, as far as the here Oscar, they do that all the time with the greats in any form of business. Not even, let's take the entertainment business out. You could work for your company for 50 years and you 70 years old. And when you're on your literal last leg, here watch, here retirement. You got a little bit of money from your 401k left. Try to sustain that in America in 2025 and above. It's the same thing with the film business. You know why? And just entertainment business in general, because you're not supposed to be successful. For Tom Cruise to make,
you're not supposed to be bigger than the business like he was. Yeah.
And that goes for everybody. You see how they did Will Smith, bro. He had to get humbled because he's a genuine nice guy. Been around, nice guy. But the problem is you cannot be nice in business because it's somebody that wants that spot. Now, will there ever be another Tom Cruise? No. Will there ever be another Samuel
look at the Vanity
Jackson?
Fair cover that came out this past week, where they had The Boys, and it was Hollywood's next generation, but it's guys that have been around the last 10 years.
Exactly. It's just now people recognize them, but they not a draw, like we've said before, like these individuals, because you go see it for the concept. You don't go see it for the star of the movie, like a Will Smith, a Tom Cruise, a Samuel L. Jackson. So for him to get this reward is kind of like, he kind of like, man, all right.
And he's a serial killer, so he knows. Toss it in the can after the ceremony. Like, this doesn't mean anything to me. He got an award so he can be on the stage in front of people and talk about movies, which he loves. And then after all the videos came out about him cutting a rug on the dance floor, because that's his number one thing. This motherfucker loves to dance more than anything. He loves to be at a social gathering and dance his ass off. Like,
and he do the rich white man dance too.
Yeah. He was dancing next to Debbie Allen, and he was like,
I seen who he was dancing with. He not low.
And
then I see Connor.
Go Tom.
And then I see Connor. I'm like, you not low. That ain't his step kid. That's his actual kid.
Okay, calm down.
Kid. That's his real kid.
Famously, he was close friends with and still is with Janet Jackson. So for years he's been close friends with her.
I wish I was close friends with Janet Jackson.
Yeah, because when the irony is when after it was, I think before or after Kiki and I had saw her, he was at one of her shows and he's like, oh, I've just obviously been a huge fan of hers, been friends for years, seeing her, just the way she performs. Oh, I love it. And then he did the Tom Cruise thing. We're like, what's your favorite song? He's like, oh, there's just so many. That's his ultimate thing. Like when he has to give an answer, he can never just say like Rhythm Nation or
But he right though.
Escapade.
It is a lot of songs. You can get Doesn't Matter from Nutty Professor too.
But that's always his thing. Is he like what's the last movie that you love, Tom? Throughout history, there's just so many movies to choose from. I'm gonna watch the Eddie Murphy doc later because I did see a thing. He apparently talked to the AP. And he told them 3 movies he regrets passing on. Do you want to take a guess at what they were? If you haven't seen this article by chance.
I saw them and I just forgot. I seen that literally 2 days ago.
One made obvious sense
Rush
for the
Hour,
time.
Right?
Yep. That one's the one that didn't make sense because I felt he would have been too old. but he passed on Rush Hour. He passed on Ghostbusters, which was a legit story that had come out like years after Ghostbusters because of his connection with SNL. That Dan Aykroyd and Bill Murray and him would have been obvious choices to be in that movie just because they were in that whole contingent. But the one he said he regretted passing on because he said when he read it, he's like, "This is dumb. How's this going to work?" And then after he saw it, he was like, "Oh, it was amazing." Was Who Framed Roger Rabbit?
Yeah, that was one of the ones. He could have definitely did it.
And not famously, there was this movie podcast I used to listen to, the Best Movies Never Made. They had the guy who was supposed to write the somewhat sequel to Who Framed Roger Rabbit. It was Platoon, and it was supposed to be Tom Cruise was supposed to be in it. It was supposed to be like a war movie in the same vein as Who Framed Roger Rabbit. It's supposed to be in that same universe, but like an old timey war movie mixed with cartoon characters and all that, and a but not a serious war movie, like that type of like the way the Snoopy is as when he's the Red Baron and Charlie Brown. It's supposed to be something like that.
Well, it's a good idea to have now. It's imagination.
Well, I told you there's one of Glenn Powell's next projects is basically the one he's doing with J.J. Abrams is the Imagination Land movie. That's how Park did.
It was so last year it was a podcast Eddie Murphy was actually on. I was listening to. It was like the summer. I probably could find it, but he talked about a project that he wrote and he can direct, and he got the character concept already, and he shot like something small for it because he was trying to pitch it to the studios. It was like a retired like rock singer or something like that, old soul singer. And they played the clip and the audio sound crazy. He said, "I really want to get this movie out. I'll look for it and I'll send it to you." But
it's on
he's doing the George
same
Clinton
podcast
movie.
I mentioned. That same podcast I mentioned, they showed the Hong Kong Phooey footage that he did the voice for in the early 2010s. Because they did the Beverly it looked all right. It also looked weird. I think Hong Kong Phooey is one of those things that was hard to adapt because years earlier they had done the Underdog movie. And again, that's a weird concept to have like a superhero dog movie. But yeah, Hong Kong Phooey. There was that episode I just listened to that you and Amp did where you said Hong Kong Phooey was Jamaican because he had a lot of jobs.
Hey, Hong Kong Phooey for real.
You all couldn't remember that it was Scatman Carruthers who was the voice of Hong Kong Phooey. Like,
really?
Yeah.
He barely was beating people up though. That's the thing.
Like, I think that was the point. Is it was one of those shows like Duck Dodgers where he was bad at his job but he was the hero. Like, wasn't every Duck Dodgers episode Daffy like shooting himself with the laser gun at the end of it?
Yeah, his idiotic, his dumbass will put it to his face. Pause.
Yeah.
Freeze!
Oh, Porky, get over here. It did have a fire theme song. Duck Dodgers and the 21st and 1/2 century.
That's funny. I remember that. But
we're gonna do an episode where we read the entire Toonami lineup from 95 to 04 and just be like, did you watch this? Yes or no?
Probably, yeah. I know on YouTube they got marathons of like just Toonami shows. And Adult Swim, Toonami, and Boomerang. They all just got 24.
I would hate when I'd had to watch Boomerang because I'm like, it's these old cartoons. I don't want to. Where's the Gundams at? Like that was that's literally my brain as a kid. I'm like, I didn't know that at the time. I was just like, I'm bored by these. I don't want to watch Scooby Doo and the Harlem Globetrotters. I want to watch Gundams. Where's Zoids? Where are they?
And that's crazy. They had the actual Globetrotters too.
Yeah.
Didn't they have the Jackson 5 cartoon on there? I think they had the Jackson 5 cartoon on Boomerang.
Or the Spider-Man cartoon where it's him, Iceman, and whoever the girl was. Like, I'm not trying. I want to watch 1994 Spider-Man. I don't want to watch this Spider-Man. Like, come on.
I think they used to show Iron Man. I love that old Iron Man.
But yeah, those old cartoons. Ironically, to bring it back to Eddie Murphy, he's someone who will probably get a Here Damn Oscar in the next couple of years. Because he didn't get it for
Dreamgirls.
Much like Tom Cruise should have won for Rain Man, Born on the 4th of July, Jerry Maguire. He's someone who did a lot for Hollywood. Because again, Eddie Murphy, I mean, probably more successful as a voice actor in the last 20 years of his career compared to the first 10 years of his career. Because he was Mushu, obviously, Shrek, and then now he's in this bag where he just is making stories that he wants to make, like Coming to America and Beverly Hills Cop 4, which is more about like him reprising old roles, but with him recognizing that he's a girl dad. Like he's really interested in that aspect of his life. But like I was a man who
shouts out to his
I know. His the one daughter was in Maxim magazine, and I was like,
pressure, hey, like mother, like daughter. The mom pressure. I seen her in person.
You look good. As you always, you look. When Eve says that, you look good.
You're right. I said, hey man, I would have did Eddie Murphy Raw. I would have did all type of stand up to keep that. Every type of movie. Pluto Nash, all that.
Oh no, yeah. I mean, because I get the bitches. That's why.
I've seen Pluto Nash several times too.
I've never seen Pluto Nash. I haven't seen that run of mid 90s to early 2000s Eddie Murphy, where he did Holy Man, Vampire in Brooklyn.
That was the 90s. That was like early 90s.
What was it? Bowfinger. I only saw half of Bowfinger. And then I'm trying to think, but I did see like I really even haven't seen all of the Nutty Professors all the way through. My dad had them on VHS when I was a kid. But my dad loves Eddie Murphy. I told you that. He loves Coming to America. That's one of his favorite movies. But I would see like Norbit, Meet Dave, that era, the fully washed version of Eddie Murphy, where he was making movies for kids, legit.
I'm standing on that hill. You and Aunt, y'all can't say nothing.
No, you're gonna come back and say Norbit was trash a month from now. We're gonna hold you to it.
It's been 18 years, never.
You think it's good?
I've been saying this for 18 years. 18 years. 18 years.
Okay.
I've been saying that movie is great. Yeah, I think it came out 07.
06 or 07, because I remember it was that time where for some reason Peter Gabriel's Big Time was used in the trailer, but also in the WrestleMania 22 promo. Big time, so much bigger than life. Big time. That's how they sold WrestleMania 22. John Cena versus Triple H with Peter Gabriel
in Chicago.
And that's where John Cena came out with a here, see? We're in Chicago, see?
Hey, that card was fire, though. They had some good matches.
WrestleMania 22 was Kane and Big Show versus Chris Masters and Carlito. That's when Big Show and Kane were the tag champs, the unstoppable tag team. That they lost those titles to the Spirit Squad, not the Suicide Squad. The Spirit Squad of all teams. Yeah, they did that thing where they all jumped them at the end, and then Kenny Dykstra did his guillotine leg drop.
That's all you can do against them too.
Then it was the second Money in the Bank ladder match that RVD won. That Ric Flair was in. They got him out of there quick when I think it was Matt Hardy did the superplex off the ladder, and Ric Flair was like, my back, and they took him out of the match. That card had Randy Orton versus Kurt Angle versus Rey Mysterio when he got the title. It had the lingerie pillow fight with Candice Michelle and Tori Wilson, I think. And Mickie James versus Trish Stratus, where Mickie James did that live on pay-per-view. That's a match we all would like to see this version of. What else? This is all the top of my head.
Undertaker versus Mark Henry casket match.
Booker T and Boogeyman, which was a waste of time.
That was 2 minutes.
Charmel, I'm coming to get you. Who do you think she was more scared of, Kurt Angle or Boogeyman?
You might be scared of a bald white dude that's on pills. So Kurt Angle.
And like you said, Mark Henry.
Foley, when they
I was say that's yep. That was
That match was great.
He's hardcore. He's Arya Edge. Arya hardcore.
Because remember, that's the
I don't
summer
think you are.
when Foley was beefing with Ric Flair, and legit
Later,
they was getting
that
into
led
it.
to that was the fourth Mick Foley renaissance.
You are a glorified stuntman.
Am I, Rick? Am I? Your words hurt, Rick. They've hurt me more than any table, than any chair. When you've said that, Rick.
And then that's when Terry Funk slapped him and his face swole up. And he was in the ring crying. He said,
what are you going to do about that?
His slaps hurt worse than punches. His punches are like bricks. And then he went to TNA, and it was all she wrote after that.
Yeah. But don't forget that WrestleMania 22, it was supposed to be Batista versus Randy Orton for the title. But Batista had gotten injured at the start of the year. And that's when they had to vacate it and Kurt Angle run it in that battle royal. But that was the plan that they said years later was Randy Orton and Batista one-on-one for the World Heavyweight title.
They tried to run that 8 WrestleManias.
Oh, and then famously, the one we're forgetting is Shawn Michaels versus Vince McMahon, in which Shawn Michaels just beat his ass for 20 minutes.
Oh, yeah, because he jumped off the ladder and did the elbow while Vince is in the trash can.
Yeah. But he whipped his ass for like 20 minutes. Then the Spirit Squad came out. Shawn Michaels beat all of them. Then Shane came out. Shawn Michaels beat him up. It was just Shawn Michaels having... Yeah, it was Shawn Michaels having his revenge for the smile and all that bullshit that we kind of hinted at last night. But famously, that's when he did the crotch chop, and then DX reunites months later.
That's what I was saying. That's it all led because everybody was like, oh, they did the DX chop, so DX coming back.
And then Shawn Michaels came out as Shane McMahon when Triple H was dressed as Vince. And Shawn Michaels did the bopping around like Shane with the wig on.
Stop.
But yeah. But no, Tom Cruise, I'm not happy for you, but I'm happy for you. You deserved some recognition at least, a little something for the effort here. It's not like I had multi-million-dollar movies, one of the best franchises of all time. But at the end of the day, they'd like to give someone like Brendan Fraser an Oscar for putting on a fat suit than give you an Oscar for getting in a real life fighter jet. So
for being Samoa Joe.
And that's no diss to Brendan Fraser because they got him out the paint so unfairly. I mean, I don't think he's that good of an actor anyway, but still, he didn't deserve what happened to him. But he
did a good job in that movie though.
But it's the business. I mean, like when I watched the Bob Dylan movie and then I watched The Brutalist, the movie that Adrian Brody won his second Oscar for, I'm like, Adrian Brody didn't need this Oscar. He's okay in this movie, but he was a million times better as Pat Riley on Winning Time. Like, give him an Oscar for that. Don't give him an Oscar for doing something that he did 20 years ago in The Pianist. But they could have just given it to Timothée Chalamet now and be like, you got yours early, kid. Now don't expect another. They could just... And it's not like he was bad as Bob Dylan. It's just that thing of like, you can't be a guy like Bob Dylan anyway. It's my problem with you can't fully mimic someone. At the end of the day, you still are who you are, and you still look the way you look. It doesn't matter how many prosthetics they try to use to hide someone. But they could have just gave him the Oscar and gotten him out of the way early. That way, whoever the next guy up and coming will be the Oscar winner. But this year's race, like I said, we'll come up with a bet for something. To watch something or do something, but I'm telling you, he won't get a nomination for The Smashing Machine.
We'll talk about it because I think he is.
I don't know who the 5 will be because I haven't been listening to my movie podcast that I listen to. But like I said, they gave him his media run, but like I said, the Academy's not, and the Academy uses him as a mascot. They don't want to use him as an actor. So,
can you go up here and present this to Wayne?
Yeah. He presented the Oscar for Bad Bunny right after John Cena was on stage nude.
Which is what Antonio said, that's a humiliation ritual.
No, that was legit funny because it was a good bit about how important costumes are. And it's just funny to see, like, again, John Cena, even though you and I are always like, he doesn't look the same, he's still 4 times the size of any Hollywood actor because it's like, yeah, it was insane. And the realest version of that was when Stephen Amell had his matches, because you think like, oh, he looks ripped as a Green Arrow. Then you saw him next to Neville, aka Pac, and it was like, holy shit, like, dude, hit the weights. This guy's got you beat by miles.
And Neville only like 5'7" too.
He's Mighty Mouse.
He almost was folded up, just like Mighty Mouse will be.
But on that note, thanks. Oh, go ahead.
Or no, like Tom and Jerry, he almost got folded like accordion yesterday.
Get him, Spike. Get him.
But on that note, hey man,
thank y'all for joining us this week. Yep, like, subscribe, share, all of that. Make sure you're tapping in with Random Acts of Podcast, their Patreon. I just joined Tangents with B. Dot for the first time ever. This was years in the making. He and I finally getting on a pod at the same time. So check that out. And also check out all their content they got there. They just uploaded their Atlanta trip that Banks was part of. All that ass shaking.
That's what I told somebody yesterday. Atlanta not lacking that. Is booty and wings.
And Drunk Joe's evilness.
Also the Twitch too. RL podcast.
The Twitch, they had a good one last night until they got out the paint because they were legit showing the fight. I didn't see the full. I was watching the opener with Abdullah Mason and Sam Noakes. That was like a real fight. Like they were going at it. But the Devin Haney fight, my stream was going in and out, so I wasn't paying his full attention to it.
Thank you for reminding me. I gotta rewatch I gotta watch it in full. The Abdullah fight, man, youngest champion in boxing history, WBC champion at 21 years old.
Do you think you should fight a real guy like Keyshawn next? Even though they say Keyshawn's supposed to be jumping up because he had to relinquish the title. Yeah.
Everybody jumping up like, dog, just stay at that weight, fight a duel, and then if you win or lose, then jump up another weight class. Like now they're trying to run back Colano, but if I'm
Canelo and Crawford.
Yeah. I mean, even though Crawford would be like, hey man, I'll stay at any weight class, I'll even go up. Hey man, I'm the A side now. You gotta drop weight.
Considering it was an easy fight too, yeah.
Yeah, come down to my weight class. But for Alvarez, that'd be way too much to drop. But the point is, it's just funny how Colano said that you want paid, and now you doing the same thing. Not saying he broke, but it's just like you got beat before. What makes you think you won't get beat again?
His English is the best. Get the fuck out of here, man. Get the fuck out of here.
Broken English, Alvarez is my favorite person. When he cussed out De La Hoya, I stood in applaud.
Yeah. But yeah, those fights took place last night, and Mason held his own. That guy was swinging to the body, and that was a crazy. Like he was trying to like do the smart thing. Like I know you're going to be faster, smarter, so I got to make the fight a physical fight. And Abdul Mason, weather the storm, but still, when you go through wars like that, it's like, god damn, like. But
what he Mason at what 132, 136?
No, I think this is the 135 division. Because they said his future fights can be Shakur, Keyshawn if he doesn't jump up, Tank, and then
that's the name I want to say, but he can't keep his hands to himself.
Well, not only that, but the Jake Paul thing, and now that Anthony Joshua being the replacement is just
trash. IG, never been a fan of his IG model. That's all he.
I was never going to watch either fight, but yeah, one, I understand he's doing it to cash out because he'll never get the fight he wants, which is a Tyson Fury fight. So
because he don't want to get look.
No, I think Tyson Fury is too scared to potentially get knocked out, even though I don't think Joshua would knock him out.
No, he just can't get away from the lotion. Being Tyson Fury. That's his number one problem. You figure it out. The lotion or the powder. Now, which powder do you think I mean?
I don't know. I don't know. I know it's cocaine. Obviously, he's admitted that in the past. But so I don't know if Tank was gonna knock out Jake Paul because I think they again like no one. Yeah, it's all. Speaking of wrestling, it's the worst version of wrestling. Like
he was gonna drop that fight, Zil. He definitely was gonna hit the knee, bro. And I think Joshua was gonna do it. He even worse because he won payday. You want payday? That's it. This dude is 6'5".
To say that Joshua can't knock out Jake Paul would be, like you said, like all right, then you're a legit IG model if you can't knock out this fucking guy who talks like he's got a job. Won't. That's my thing. Like then what's and here's what because this all started because Floyd Mayweather said this. If you don't want to watch me in the exhibition, then don't come. Don't pay. Like you think I had that pretty good, right?
So Davis, if you know about boxing, I make smart investments. So yeah. When I fight Mike Tyson and Pacquiao next year, they say I broke, but how I'm broke? I got 30 cards.
That was from that press conference. So like my bank account saying I'm broke. What do your bank accounts look like? What do you go home to? I know what I go home to.
Tricking. Yeah, Zell, but Nagu
Ngannou.
There you go.
Yeah, and no offense, again, but this showed why Tyson Fury is. There's a good boxing podcast I listen to, the Proper podcast. There are a couple of lads over in England talking about boxing, and their thing is Tyson Fury beat the same guys over and over. Like he beat Derek Chisora, he beat Deontay Wilder, he beat these guys that he would beat anyway. But then he looked weak against Francis Ngannou, who then Joshua knocked out in the next fight. So it always is, I think, like Tyson Fury, and he got outclassed by Usyk like everyone does. So that's not a mark against him. But the point was Tyson Fury makes fights easier than they need to be, which is why Joshua was looking to go out and knock out Ngannou early, because he's like, nah, man, you're not a boxer. I'm a boxer. I'm going to show you what a boxer does. Just because Tyson Fury played, dance around the ring with you for 10 rounds, I'm not going to do that.
Yeah. And, again, with Joshua, he hasn't had a lot of fights that have drawn in the past couple of years. His last biggest fight was against Klitschko.
Well, his last big fight was the one with Dubois, because that sold out Wembley. Huge. But then he got his ass beat in that fight.
It was see to be a reoccurring thing, and it's like, ain't it?
Klitschko, the big fights he gets knocked out.
Was 120 years old and put him to sleep.
In Ukraine, we use fist.
Now, Klitschko, he done knocked out the great Lennox Lewis too, but still.
He was fucking Hayden Panettiere, who's barely 4'9". Like, what? You're an asshole, Vladimir. What are you doing? Like, you're 6'8", with a girlfriend who can barely clear 5 feet.
Also, this one, she was like young.
No, she was over her. Yeah. She was over 20. But it was just the thing where like she's crazy small. Adam Carolla had a joke where he's like about that relationship, like, stand on that stool so I can fuck you, like because that's how tall she'd have to be on the same height. Like, but those Ukrainians, Russians. I mean, Usyk is
European. I got a saying about them, like the Jokic brothers.
Yeah, no, we agree about it, because the Dagestanis in UFC, it's just they're the real winter soldiers. Brothers. Yeah.
It's like, bro, when you from that Eastern European, when it's 0 below and you eat quiche and you got to sleep in a bathtub and you got 20 siblings in the 2-bedroom, yeah, bro, you're going to be a little bit tough. They hoods is a little bit different. We can go get some type of supplements.
The only guy that was tougher than them, the only guy that's tougher than them, because they've been getting washed by the Georgian guy, Merab Divashvili. He's like 5'8", built like a motherfucker. It's like if you shrunk the Juggernaut, that's what he's built like.
Yeah.
But he's Georgian, and that's almost the same region, so that's why he's able to out wrestle them. But it's crazy, that all they do is wrestling on a level of like, I can pick up a Jeep and throw it across the room, like.
And the ones that's lighter, like, I wrestle everything.
Yeah,
I gotta eat. They wrestle because they hungry.
yeah. But
And have y'all ever heard of Eastern European food? No, look it up. You'll be hungry
it's
all the time too.
what is it? Fuck. Caviar is big over there, I think, but they have something else that they eat a lot.
Turnips,
Yeah, it's shit like that. Turnips,
squash.
In Mother Russia, foodie chew.
Goat booty, stuff like that.
But tune in to Banks on Random Mexico Podcast here, the bonus episodes he does. Tune in to Black and Out Table's Patreon so y'all can hear Wiretap with him and Eve. Oh, are y'all going to talk about this? I've never heard this guy until I started listening to this Tismala. Like, who is this guy?
Oh man, hey man, the greatest sitcom in America right now.
I haven't heard this episode that you've done where it's a deep dive about him, but every time y'all mention, I'm like, who is this guy? Y'all just talk about how he eats McDonald's every day or some shit like that. I'm like, what the?
No, he eats everything every day.
Y'all,
and that's the problem with this country.
Here's what Banks and I were talking about offline. I'm like, the dynamic between Banks and I is different from the dynamic between Banks and Amp. It's way different between the dynamic with you and Eve. You and Eve, there's like the circles of hell, Dante's Inferno. Like, y'all go all the way there with y'all content in terms of like, hey, have you seen this? And it's a weird ass TikTok. And I'm like, what are they fucking watching? Like,
it might get worse today because
I don't even be looking up this stuff because I'm still at work. But what you and Amp or you and Eve talk about, I'm just like, how do they find these things out? Like, did y'all see that video where this chick did? There's no like, yeah, I did see that. I'm like, who the fuck?
Dude, TikTok TV. I gotta stop looking at my phone at 3 a.m. When you get on TikTok at 3 a.m., you see the most random stuff. I've seen people in China, and they be getting in the tub, not a tub, like a huge tank with like koi fish. Just be sitting in there. I'm like,
okay. No. I gotta say something offline.
Go ahead. I thought they was gonna eat them.
Thank y'all for joining us again. Make sure you're subscribed, liking the videos, commenting, sharing them. Check out the shorts. Check out the clips. All that. Follow me at DavisAKDrip on Twitter. Davis calling DC on Instagram. Follow Banks' Twitch channel, which is what we're also on. Follow Banks on TikTok. And we'll see y'all next time.